When you came in this morning, did you happen to notice the parking spaces outlined in blue? Or perhaps the areas of the sidewalk that are sloped down so that they're flush with the driveway? If you don't know where they are, any of the children in the church will be able to show you where the automatic door opener buttons are. Local, state, and federal governments have worked diligently to mandate accessibility to public spaces for people with disabilities. Many of us have a tendency to take these things for granted, of course, unless the blue parking space is the last one left in the parking lot. But frankly, none of those accommodations means a thing to someone who cannot even get out of their own house. Isaiah 42:6 says, "I, the Lord, have called you in righteousness, to free captives from prison, and to release from the dungeon those who sit in darkness." That is the mission of Servants at Work, or SAWs. For 9 years, we have been building freedom for people with disabilities, one ramp at a time. Last year, I spent most of my time recruiting and training new volunteers in other areas of our state as the need has arisen. Out of 154 ramps that we built last year, 67 of those ramps were built by 18 new construction groups in about 24 cities around our state. As a result, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to tell you this morning. That is, until I went to the annual kickoff dinner last Saturday. Volunteers told me a story about a child who couldn't go to school unless there were enough people around to carry her down the steps to the bus that the school provided. They told me the story of an elderly widow who had literally not been out of her home in more than 3 years. They also told me the story of Chester. We built Chester a ramp in the fall of last year. Chester and his wife, who is mentally challenged, lives in a tiny duplex in probably one of the most hardcore neighborhoods in this city. The volunteers witnessed to the fact that Chester would crawl around his tiny space because he couldn't navigate the manual wheelchair through the cramped spaces. They said that he was extremely dirty, emaciated, and was described as not having any life left in his eyes. One of you donated a 3-wheel scooter last year, and we decided to give this to Chester right before Christmas of last year. On Tuesday, a volunteer went out to look at an adjustment that needed to be made to the ramp. They reported back that Chester had gained 11 pounds. He was taking this scooter to his nearby doctor by himself, and he greeted the volunteer with a huge smile and a big wave. The volunteer related to me afterwards. He said, "Rick, it was like looking into the face of Christ." There is much to be done. There is a lot of work left to do, and we need your help in whatever form that might take. If you have any questions, I'll be in the chancel after the service, and I would love to have an opportunity to talk with you. God bless you all.